And I am seeing action. Well, okay, piece of heart, a little early. Doesn't hurt, I guess, but we're looking for something better.
Nope. And Blues is doing what I like to do, going for the early hula hand. Or was that a rod in Link's house?
I thought that was. I could not tell which one exactly, unfortunately. There was an early map check, but Space Cowboy was very quick on the draw.
That was fire rod, apparently, so that's a very nice item to find early.
Oh, indeed. Excellent hula hand strats. Tree pull. 80 rupees at the start. Lachrie has it, and so does Space Cowboy. So
Furaime,
now, go ahead.
Furaime also doing the hula hand early.
Uncle has another 20 bucks. And I do have confirmation on BluesEclipse's side. That is the fire rod.
Okay, it looks like all 3 Light World Dungeons are pendants, with Desert being 6 pendant. So.
Ooh, and an early Moon Pearl. Nice. Dark World access will be appreciated.
Yeah, and that's actually useful for the fake flipper glitch, which if one of the runners do it, we'll talk about it then. But
Alright, by the way, I have confirmation from our trackers and chat. It looks like Desert Palace is one of the pyramid crystals, and Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera are just normal crystals.
yes, indeed. One of the nice things about doing the early hula hand is that it puts you right at Link's house, so you can do the south route up through Kakariko if you want to do that for the guaranteed bomb.
And Furaime is going immediately to the swamp path. Lachrie is diving in, getting a piece of heart in the Lost Woods, and we are about to have, I believe, a lumberjack check.
Everybody's going very different routes.
Okay, no lumberjack yet, and was that just a single green rupee at the library?
I missed it. That was 20. What, mushroom spot? And they're describing that because early money is always appreciated.
Indeed. And we have some runners buying bombs, and that looks like a very soggy blue male found in the drained swamp.
Yeah, it doesn't deter Furaime from putting it on, though. A little bit of moisture. Keep the damage lower, I guess.
And apparently the tavern has turned into a library or an actual coffee shop because we have books.
That's a very interesting early find. Obviously, that provides desert access. If they would have found that earlier, they could have checked Pedestal while they were in the Lost Woods, but I don't imagine anybody's going to go there to do that right now.
And hold on a second, we have Cain of Somaria in the Moldorm Cave.
And a shovel.
And a shovel, because of course. And Bottle Vendor has transplanted himself from King's Quest because it's now a lamp vendor.
Well, that's always a nice item to find early, even though they don't really need it per se to complete the game. It's very helpful if you don't know those dark rooms.
Oh, excuse me, Black Moon. Do you want me to try that again? It's gotta be King! I cannot do it that well, I'm sorry.
I appreciate the effort, though. That was great.
I have to try to do something a little more original. In the meantime, cave check.
Oh!
I saw that too. We've got flippers!
So Furaime's early, the rest of the runners will probably get these before long, but that's still very nice to find. It's super early. Oh, and now he can go check the dig spot on his way up.
And hold on, was that 2 swords I saw? BluesEclipse, I believe, has gotten straight up to Master Sword. And Lachrie is about to follow suit.
Wow, that's insanity. Nice finds in the thieves. Only 50 rupees in the Dix fund, unfortunately. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself here, but Master Sword and Lamp does technically put Aghanim on the table.
I am forced to confirm I would have preferred not to.
I'm sure none of them are hoping to have to go there either.
Yeah. As far as dungeon access goes, right now we can at least get most of the items in Eastern. Hope that the bow isn't being trolly. And hold on, we're gonna have an early pedestal check, folks. And result?
Oh man.
Dream is dead.
Five
Dream.
minutes, 40 seconds in, and it's over, boys. It's over.
Yeah, as Revolving Ocelot is confirming, the last day, the 3 p.m. daily race, which was standard mode, actually did have a pedestal seed.
Yes, indeed. I was in that race, and I was not happy about that.
I was also in that race. I was not happy with that. Actually, I was more not happy with the chain of events that resulted because of that. And right now, though, as you stated earlier, Malay, this seed is already shaping up to be an Aghanim required seed. It's going to depend on if we have alternate Dark World access.
Yeah, the thing is, with all the items that they've gotten, that actually opens up a decent chunk of the map. Unless Desert's Boots locked, they can go there. They can go to Zora. They can go into Eastern early. So I'll be interested to see if anybody makes that quick gamble. And it looks like there's just bombs in the Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, I can confirm Zora's Cave, the guy under the bridge, we can potentially see... Actually, we could do the full escape sequence at this point, so that's possible. Agina's Cave, and of course, Desert Palace is also a possibility.
Mm-hmm. You have to imagine that before you would actually go to do Aghanim, you would check all those things. Though there have been a few daily races where they've just done it early and it's paid off in big ways.
Indeed. I think BluesEclipse is going to go for the entirety of the escape sequence. Once, what was in here again? Oh yes, the Moon Pearl. Someone in chat had asked about that, and there you go. The chest that is just south of Uncle.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that the early Hula lets you do is if you do the Kakarika route and you find a weapon, you can do Uncle and Escape all in one go, which is nice.
Alright, at the 8-minute mark, all of our runners now have Master Sword. Spacecowboy and Lachrie are right now taking on the mini Moldorms. Excellent destruction.
Yeah.
Have yourselves a nice cane.
Yeah, it's a lot easier than most seeds at 8 minutes will be able to clear out this room with, thanks to that Master Sword one-shotting them.
Alright, time to see the 3 chests inside the prison escape sequence. Starting off with a heart container, not bad, we could all use a little bit of extra health. So at this point, ooh, Lachrie is about to, there you go. Almost hit the wrong button there, but fortunately, Lachrie is about to get some flippers, as is Spacecowboy. The two of them are pretty much identical, and also, what strategy was used there on BluesEclipse? Because it worked out pretty well.
Do you mean the one where he taps the door to get the blue guard's attention and spins him to death?
I thought he was carrying something for some reason. It may have just been a buffering issue on my end.
I might have misseen, I'm not sure.
Alright, Space Cowboy is going to swim down probably to the bridge engineer at the bottom, and then check out Zora. Unless, wait, rupee count doesn't match up. There's no way to actually buy what King Zora has right now.
Just a blue rupee inside his chest. I imagine BluesEclipse is about to death. No, he's not gonna death warp. Okay, he's just gonna walk out.
Alright. Lachrie is checking out Sahasrara's closet. And I could not tell what the bridge engineer had. Also, green pendant, Turtle Rock.
I'm never happy to see Pendant Turtle Rock. Just because you have to go in there usually anyway.
Yeah, 5 items possible from Turtle Rock. If you don't have to go there, you would prefer not to.
Yeah, but usually there's something good on Laser Bridge. Most seeds that I've played anyway. So it's just, you know, bittersweet, I guess.
Hey, BluesEclipse is the first to explore the actual sewer escape portion.
And we have Lachrie coming into Eastern Palace very early.
Indeed, with the lantern on hand, the dark rooms will not be a problem. So it's now just going to be a matter of 2 questions. 1, will the bow actually be found here? If so, then we can complete the entirety of Eastern Palace. If not, then the next question comes in. Where's the 3rd item going to be? Will the Armos Knights have them?
Usually, if you want to come in here early, you want to find all 3 items early, but sometimes that's just not the way it plays out. Unfortunately, the chest in the sewer was just a map, which means you need gloves to get to the back of escape in this particular seed.
Gloves, or can you possibly do it with just the boots? I'm forgetting.
No, you need the gloves to actually lift up the rocks in front of the graveyard. The tomb, basically. You can't actually get that with just boots. I mean, you can try, but it's going to be a little bit painful.
I thank you for that, then. Alright, does Lachrie know the correct positioning to only spawn 2 Stalfos? Nicely done.
Yep, that's a useful glitch that you can use in that room to avoid spawning all 4, is if you move in a certain way. Because the spawn pattern is predetermined, if you do it before you move to the center of the room, only 2 will spawn, and you can take them out with pots or anything, really.
Alright, 2 of the items have been found in Eastern Palace by now. One was a rupee increase, and the second was a heart container. And Furaime took a death. I don't know if that was intentional.
Oh yeah, it was intentionally. It was trying to get back to the start, to go to the sewer escape.
And Space Cowboy is diving in now, about to be disappointed.
Unless he's hungry, then he's got a nice burrito to snack on. Though I don't know if I'd eat a burrito if I'm in the sewer, personally.
I prefer to go sans burrito these days. Or without, I guess is the better term. Alright, inside here, compass.
That's the worst. Worst feeling.
That, if I counted correctly, that means the Armos Knights have the 3rd item. Unless I had just missed what was in the big key chest.
I believe the big key chest was just a map.
With that in mind, not that many plays left. We still need to check out the Zora area. We may possibly find something in Desert Palace. Ooh, nice bomb strategy, or at least being able to dig for bombs on Furaime's side. Okay, Lake Hylia Island only has a bomb capacity upgrade, so we don't have to worry about that.
I wonder if we'll be able to see what this was. I think it was just an arrow upgrade at Mr. Hobo.
And as chat is confirming, since the Zora flippers were found in the ice cave, access to Zora's domain is within the logic.
Yep, Zora and Desert are some of the few remaining plays, and I like what Spacecowbow doing. He's opting to go this way first because this will give him the opportunity to actually farm the money for Zora if this doesn't pay off. But he's not choosing to do that at the moment.
So, which one first? Checking the cliff, or checking Agina, or checking the palace?
It looks like he's going to go in first, and that's fine. I mean, if you don't find... Oh!
Oh! That looked like a power glove on the cliff.
Yeah, I was going to say, if this doesn't pay off, you can always just tap out of the dungeon and check, that way, and save and quit. But this is going to be a Death Mountain access for him.
And Furaime has... Was that a... Yeah, I can tell by the HUD. Silver arrows are in the waterfall of the Wishing. Now, let's see... Bombs are available as the first item. Hopefully the torch doesn't have the big key.
Oh, Furaime lucking out. The item on Zora Ledge is 50 rupees, which is just enough to get him the item. So he's got to make another trip through here.
At least Furaime is staying in the same area right now, so...
That's very true.
Hopefully King Zora has something of worth. And did Spacecowboy actually check the Torch in Desert Palace yet? Or was that just a glove pickup?
I think you just picked up the gloves and left. Though if the item in the middle room was actually an actual item, that means it's either the big key or the small key. So
The small chest involving the switch was only bombs, I believe.
yeah, so he knows either way. That's that whatever item's on there is going to be a small key or an item that leads to a small key.
And King Zora just has a little bit of love. And I don't think Agina's cave paid out there.
No, I don't believe it did.
So at this point, we can access the back half of the escape. That's where Spacecowboy is heading right now. And if this doesn't pay off, we have to check Death Mountain. Magic Mirror helps, but it's not progression.
It does get him up the mountain, actually, into Hera, so...
That is true. With Book and Master Sword, the Ether tablet is also available. So, we can at least get our first crystal on the board.
It looks like he has other things in mind. Maybe he's doing the score checks as well. He has the money for it.
Makes sense. 630 rupees, got enough to do it all. It's just not going to pay out here. The only worthwhile item is going to be the silver arrows in the waterfall of the Wishing.
Furaime bombing the old man. That's very rude. Thank you.
I mean, if you have to come into Agina's cave for an item, you would be frustrated too.
I would be. I am very often, in fact.
Right. Again, Spacecowboy and Lachrie are in wonderful sync, getting the silver arrows at almost the same time.
Oh, poor Lachrie, though. Does not have enough money to buy from King Zora, and that 50 on the ledge won't help him either.
Oh, my apologies. Have I been pronouncing that name incorrectly?
I don't know how it's pronounced. I just say Lachrie, because it looks like Lachrie to me.
We will hope hopefully get that cleared up in the post-interview race.
So this issue once and for all with him or her.
Space Cowboy receives the bad news, knows it's either going to be Death Mountain or it's going to be Aghanim.
Yep, and there's 5 items up here, I believe, with the tablet that he can hope and pray is progression.
Right now, okay, thank you for that, Magic Terra. Lachrie is heading towards Desert now. And Space Cowboy is about to go up Death Mountain.
And
Just has... Go ahead.
Furaime will be right behind him, is what I was going to say.
Chaos Lord 2 asks, has Jax been checked? I'm not familiar with the nickname for the Jax location. You're going to have to clarify.
Probably the Lumberjacks.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was just bombs, unfortunately. So.
For some reason, I was thinking like the game of Jax. Yes, I'm old.
Okay, well.
Escort an old man up, get his old running shoes.
So that is progression. That is Desert Palace completion on the table after this.
Which technically means Desert Palace is a double dip.
Yep, yep. Unless Flute's on Pyramid, I guess, but, I mean, why would you want to do that?
Blue Boomerang on top of Spectacle Rock, what's inside? Blue Rupee, don't care. Still, we can at least complete 2 dungeons now, but this is still not necessarily enough for Dark World access. We are looking for either the Hammer or the Titan's Mitts. Maybe the Ether Tablet will have something. And inside... Ether!
Vanilla Ether! Fantastic.
Christos!
I love it. I love it. The one spot you would never check for Ether. And there it is.
Alright, first item in Tower of Hera, bombs, so that at least eliminates one of them. Furaime is about to head up there themselves, and uh-oh, we have ourselves a mini coffee break to take care of first before we can actually take on Moldorm.
Yep, a required annoyance, unfortunately. Though, I guess the good thing is that, you don't have to wonder, should I skip basement or not? Because you can't. You actually can't.
And Furaime is skipping the boomerang, and is now about to, after one little bonk, about to find Ether at Ether. Meantime, Space Cowboy is taking that coffee break seriously, utilizing the invincibility frames of, just being able to stand on a tile.
Yep, you will be invincible as long as you are standing on those. So it's always nice just to be able to sit there and do nothing while the room plays itself, basically.
Alright, big key is in here. Will Space Cowboy do a Death Warp or Mirror Warp? Mirror Warp. However, 2 hearts left. This is kinda dangerous, but if Space Cowboy is careful, he will be fine.
Yeah, the main danger with this low hearts is just dying to the Moldorms that are in the way. As you climb the tower, everything else is pretty safe, and you can get a nice bunch of hearts from the pots right before the Moldorm, so...
Lachrie is about to get some boots of their own. Furaime is right now on their coffee break, and BluesEclipse is about to discover the Power Glove. Space Cowboy chooses not to do the bomb jump. Not a bad idea. Save the health.
Yeah, if you're not confident with that bomb jump, there's no point in doing it. It doesn't save that much time.
And just an arrow capacity upgrade.
And so Hera was a bust, basically.
And we still needed the crystal.
We did indeed.
But now, this limits our options again. There's still one unclaimed item in Desert Palace, and we also have the Bonk Rocks. If neither of those locations have anything good, we're fighting Aghanim.
Yeah, everything else has been checked as far as I remember. So, if either of those two items is not something we require, then we are definitely going to go fight Aghanim.
And at the 25-minute mark, Space Cowboy is the first one with a crystal.
Oh no, Furaime falls.
Ooh, tried to save some time, but ended up spending more by mistake.
Yeah, and they'll just do it the normal way now, because if you fall once, then you just, you waste the time that you would have gained from doing it, so at that point you might as well just do it the vanilla way.
And interestingly enough, BluesEclipse is choosing to borrow a key from the back half to use it on the front half.
This is interesting. Nobody else did this, and it's something you can do if you feel like it. The logic will never require you to do it, but
this means we're gonna have near simultaneous item checks. Bonk Rocks on Space Cowboy's side. What do we have here? Red Rupee. So it all depends on what is in Desert Palace. If it's even at the front half. It could be in the back. First chest. Big key.
okay, so that means there's a small key on the torch.
And it's
Cape.
the magic cape! That is not enough! We have an Aghanim required seed, folks!
Yep. Yep.
Except... Yep, okay. That is definitely Aghanim required. I'm also using my own personal tracker for something, and I have an error to fix on it. Alright, guys. Time for 6 minutes of patience.
So something else this cape might require. We have a medallion, we have the fire rod, we have the lamp, and we have a source of invincibility. So if they can get an eternal rock, then they might have to dip in there pretty early.
In order to do that, we would still need the hammer.
Yes, we need the hammer first.
And to answer in chat, Omega Fall, Bonk Rocks only had 20 rupees. So with that, all Light World locations have been claimed. At least out of what we can access. So who is going to be the first runner to realize this?
I think Space Cowboy's about to realize it.
Just has to get past the corridor. Hope you enjoy your cape. Still going to complete the dungeon. Makes sense, you're already here. At least I hope Space Cowboy will complete the dungeon. It is a crystal here after all.
Yeah, and it's also one of the 5-6 crystals. If it weren't, he might have put it off just till later when he checks my area. But because it's a 5-6, I assume he's putting at least like an item's worth of weight on it.
And Lachrie is really hoping to get that big chest. Just for an arrow capacity upgrade, though. back half of Desert Palace now for Space Cowboy. So if I'm counting correctly, this will be Space Cowboy's second crystal, correct?
It might be his first. You might not have gone to Hera yet. I believe Furaime was the one who did Hera.
That is probably it. Alright, hope you enjoy that ether, Blues.
Oh no, I guess he did do it, so this will be his second crystal.
And Lachrie manages to take out Moldorm, no problems this time. And now, time for the Lanmolas. We have Master Sword and Fire Rod available for pretty good damage.
Yeah, Fire Rod will do these things in 2 shots. Though without half magic, it's a little bit hard to do that for all of them.
It doesn't matter. Spin attacks work just as well. Enjoy that map. Time to head to Ganon. So, for those that are unfamiliar with Randomizer, we are about to climb up Agonim's tower. It is roughly 6 minutes of climbing up multiple floors, followed by a showdown with a Ganon. Upon beating a Ganon, we will have access to the Pyramid Ledge, the Catfish, and the Palace of Darkness. One of those locations will have further means of progression. And now Furaime is going to take out the Lanmolas. And BluesEclipse, ooh, unfortunately taking a knockout.
Oh no, that's a shame. Thankfully, Hera is a very short dungeon, so a minor setback, I guess you could say. Still an annoyance.
Oh, did Space Cowboy not explore Eastern yet? Interesting.
I mean, that's not a, and I don't blame him for coming over here just to be sure before he has to go to Aghanim.
This means Furaime, or Furaime, I'm going to get it right eventually. Nope, but they are heading to Eastern as well. It's like none of our runners wish to go up the tower, but eventually all signs point there.
Yeah, you can struggle, but I mean, if Aghanim's required, there's no way around it. But at the same time, checking this area takes less time, roughly, than going up to Aghanim's tower. And if you do Aghanim's tower and it's not required, that's time you'll never get back, compared to the other runners in the race.
Admittedly, that is a fair point. Also, to confirm what is going on in chat, the reason why we cannot defeat Eastern Palace right now, while the Armos Knights are vulnerable to the Boomerang, which most of our runners have right now, the red Igor enemies require the bow and arrows to defeat. We have silver arrows, but you can't just grab the arrows and stab the Igors in the eye. You actually have to shoot them with the bow. Don't ask why, just assume it's Nintendo logic.
Yeah, and throwing them doesn't work either. I mean, you can try, but it doesn't work. I'm telling you right now.
But I want it to work.
Oh, Space Cowboy. A little mistake messing up the stuff I skipped, but it's not that big a deal.
And BluesEclipse, excellent destruction of that Moldorm. Furaime is also checking out Eastern. About to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's one thing to go into Eastern early and find 3 items. It's another thing to go into Eastern and find 2 items in both dungeon items. It doesn't sound that big of a deal, but it's actually very painful in practice.
And Lachrie is passing up on the free 50. Now, admittedly, most of the money sinks in this game are gone now, but if you need to buy potions, I would have taken the money.
Yeah, if you want those safeties, it's always good to pick up whatever money is just like easily in your reach. The only other one that's required right now, or might be required, is Kiki for Palace of Darkness, which is 100 plus 10 if it gets hit along the way.
Alright, I think Lachrie is now heading towards a Ganon. BluesEclipse and Spacecowboy are not far behind. It is interesting how all these runners have taken slightly divergent paths, but they all realize it comes down to this first choke point. Welcome to the 6 minutes of patience.
Agnim's Tower is so boring. I hate it. No items, no nothing.
Well, you could always play Key Sanity. That is one of the 3 daily modes available throughout the month of December. We will always have an open race, we will always have a Key Sanity race, and we will always have one race that is typically community chosen. At 11 p.m., we will have the Key Sanity race for today.
And in Key Sanity, all the chests in the dungeon, even Agnim's Tower, can have anything in them.
Indeed. Oh, including the ever-trolly Swamp Palace Small Key at Vanilla.
God, what a nightmare. That's the worst. That's the worst thing in Key Sanity. But
And I rolled that seed.
well, none of our runners have much trouble getting through Agnim's Tower, at least.
Alright. Nice spin attack against the Gold Knights. And Lachrie is going on ever further. Magic Terra, there is a calendar that at least mentions upcoming events per week. I don't know if that specific one has been found yet. Anyway, as we are approaching the higher floors, it's time for all of you in chat to play a little guessing game. Ganon has a generally fixed pattern. He will fire red balls, he will fire blue balls, every 5th round he will fire lightning. Your job is to say how many blue balls Ganon will fire, assuming, of course, the earliest 6 hits can be landed. The time will stop when I give the word stop. Just have to get through a cutscene.
I'm gonna say 7 because 7 is always my my go-to number.
I will say 3.
Well, yours might be a little bit more realistic.
And with that, stop the guessing! Any guesses that showed up after my word stop in chat, sorry, they will not count.
There's number 1.
Has to be careful. That is 2, I believe, right? Or was I looking at the wrong participant?
I'm just looking at Space Cowboy. I've seen 1 so far. No, that's 2.
Ah, that explains the mix-up.
No, there's 3.
Yes, Zalius, this is an Ganon required seed.
And everybody has joined the Ganon party as of now. I think you're right.
3 it is. Of course, I cannot actually win anything.
Was there even a prize to begin with?
Yes, a one-time visit to my den. What? Wolfman, Wolf's Den? Gotta have some fun with it.
There's a bee on the pyramid.
Tino Star, you are the first one to have guessed 3, so congrats. Also, Pyramid Ledge has a bottle in it, I believe.
With a bee in it, yes. So, Space Cowboy heading up here to Catfish, I like this. If you have a progression and within a limited area, you might as well get just to get ones first. Because if you guys go into pod, then
Well, speaking of pod, that's one of the pendants along with Ice Palace. Swamp Palace is the other pyramid crystal.
Yes, indeed, the right side is all not required. With the Mysteric next to it, because it's probably going to be required anyway, but...
So now comes the important question. Will Catfish have something? Will at least the front half of Palace of Darkness have something? Or do we have to go back to Sick Kid?
Catfish is money, I mean...
No arguing with money, but that's not what our runners want to see right now.
Space Cowboy did the save and quit to get back to the pyramid very quickly. If you save and quit in the Dark World, and you have Mirror and Agams defeated, then it will put you back on the pyramid.
However, Furaime has chosen to go straight to Palace of Darkness, and Lachrie is choosing a swimming route to get... Wait a second. Where is this path going?
Did he fall by accident running, maybe? I'm not sure.
Alright, first chest in Palace of Darkness has a small key, so we can continue exploring.
Yep, every small key pulls you a little deeper in here.
The question is, how deep do you wish to go?
I mean, if I'm gonna come here, I want to check everything, so... Preferably enough to do that. Aside from right side, of course.
Another small key. I can understand why Furaime is going for it right now. But they need 2 more keys in order to explore all of the chests in this area. Well, there's one. If the 2 chests in this money room don't have a key, I don't know what to suggest. That looks like Quake.
I couldn't see what that was.
I could not see the second item, but I do believe we have Quake found.
Yes, that was indeed Quake, so 2 out of 3 on medallions.
Choosing to ignore the maze for now.
Ooh.
Titan's Mitts! And the other item we could not see that well was the Cane of Burna.
Still, that's a nice item to have before Thieves Town. It makes blind very trivial.
With that may have been the best play to make. Now, technically, if we do have to complete Palace of Darkness, say Helmusar King has an item, well, okay. Hopefully we don't have to encounter that sort of double dip situation, but...
I mean, it's not like you and me are running it. I mean, we can just watch them suffer if they have to do that.
Alright, vanilla big key chest location. Has a vanilla big key. However...
Oh, I know what Furaime is doing. He's gonna cheat a little bit here.
Cheat? What sort of cheat? Oh, you think they're going to go for the bomb jump?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna do the hammer jump. Hit all of the items in the dark maze while they're here.
I still have 2 unknown items unaccounted for in Palace of Darkness, so this may be a good play. Just has to get lined up correctly.
Yeah, I believe this is a pixel perfect jump, so
Gets it!
very
And a
nicely
hurry.
done.
BluesEclipse, you need a key. Or a hammer jump, whichever one you prefer. Heart container, 1 item left. Piece of heart.
Yep, and if that was all 5 items, then you don't have to worry about coming back here, which is very nice to have the safety in your mind.
That was all 5 items. Palace of Darkness. Come here for the mitts. Leave Helmasaur King to rot.
Yep, unless
However,
pedestal's required, of course.
pedestal is not required, it's pocket change.
Ah,
However,
yes.
keep in mind, if none of our runners are familiar with the hammer jump and chose to use the small key for the Titan's mitts, which admittedly is the right play here, then this is technically a double dip. In the meantime, let's check out King's Tomb. Just some arrows.
The
Space
king's favorite
Cowboy.
arrows.
Space Cowboy heading to Skull Woods, hoping that it has a lot of value. Inside Skull Woods, we will have 2 items inside.
Yep, opting to do this from the front instead of the back, which, I mean, is fine. I personally prefer to do it from the back if you're going to complete it while you're here anyway. Just because.
What was that first item that was picked up on Space Cowboy's side?
I think it was a heart, or a heart container. A sick kid with 20 rupees.
Well, if it was a heart container, then that means we've already found one of the 2 items.
Oh, it's a big key, what am I saying? Big key was one, and then probably the heart container? Oh, the map and that big key, I think, was it. Following 4 racers is hard, guys, I'm sorry.
Well, it looks like Space Cowboy did pick up a big key because he is going for the big chest.
Yeah, it was the big key in the map. There you go. My mistake.
It's not easy covering all 4 of these.
And the
But
compass.
just for the compass?
Yeah.
That? Don't tell me the back half is going to be where everything is in Skull Woods. Also, Lachrie now has Titans. Furaime is going for the bomb jump. Nicely done. Enjoy your compass.
Yeah, it's a very useful little shortcut.
Alright, hopefully this screen has something.
That's all 3
Almost.
medallions for us. That's why doing this dungeon from the back first can be a bit of a time save, because if everything is back here, you don't have to check a whole bunch of chests.
However, I do believe we have 1 item unaccounted for. Though admittedly, with all 3 medallions acquired, Misery Mire can now be completed.
It can be, but we need the flute to get there, sadly.
That is another thing I have to fix on my personal tracker. Thank you. Treasure chest game on BluesEclipse side did not have anything of worth.
And Space Cowboy realizing that this is not a ped seat, unfortunately. So everybody had the same idea of going to Skullwoods right away, and it's you know, very, very understandable impulse.
Kyrion asks in chat, what about more keys in the basement of Pod? In order to access that part of the Palace of Darkness, you need the bow and arrows. In the meantime, here's the first one against Mothula.
Oh, that spike coming out and blocking the fire rod shot, that's so annoying.
Yeah, Mothula is an interesting enemy where the arena can potentially cause more problems than Mothula themselves.
Yeah, Furaime does it without much trouble though, so... Ooh!
Stop! Hammer time! At least I believe that's what it was.
I believe you are correct, yes. Very, very happy to find that right here before Thieves Town.
And with that, almost every dungeon is now available. We are still missing the flute to access Misery Mire, you are correct on that.
Yep, we're missing a flute and hookshot, I believe.
And bow, at least if we want total confirmed go mode here.
Mm-hmm. Need that bow for Eastern Palace, of course.
And we have some runners in the chat that are in IRC. They are expressing some frustration. Apparently, they have also gone into the Palace of Darkness. Remember, while we are only showing our featured 4, there are about 50 other runners here that are going for this, and we've had 2 of them just withdraw, probably because of frustrations with how these dungeons are set up today.
Is this a keylock seed? Did they keylock themselves out of Titansmiths?
Who do you think keylocked themselves out?
I'm just looking in IRC, and it says, Ventisi says, I think Pod is keylocked. And I think he might be right.
It's technically not right now, because we saw on screen that Furaime and Lachrie and Space Cowboy and BluesEclipse, all 4 of our featured runners, were able to get Titan's Mitts.
They were. If they had used that small key on the Dark Maze, though, they would not have a key, I believe. Unless I'm crazy.
The only way it would not be a keylock seed, we would need the bow, which could be anywhere else, so it's probably not keylocked. It may just be bow locked. Also, I had missed what was out on the graveyard ledge. I apologize.
It's probably trash, who cares? I didn't see it either.
Sea House only contains bomb capacity upgrades.
People seem to think it's key-locked, and that is a bug that can happen in this version. The logic, albeit rarely, is you can key-lock yourself in Pod, very, very rarely, though. But our 4 featured runners didn't get key-locked, so not our problem, I guess.
And there is some discussion about whether this is technically a potential keylock seed here. Sick Kid has 20. If the bow is locked behind a Titan's Mitts upgrade, then this is technically a keylock seed for many runners.
Thieves Town, first chest, half magic, or was that second chest? Either way, half magic's in Thieves Town.
Yeah.
So.
If Thieves Town has the bow, the seed is still fresh. So let's not panic yet.
Well, they can actually get here without the Titan's Mitts because Hammer was at Mothula. So I believe they would be stuck on the right side of Dark World without Titan's Mitts.
hang on, I'm going through this right now for a second. So you would need... Hammer is gotten from... Oh my gosh, I think you may be right, because Mothula has the hammer, which means you have to use Titan's Mitts to get up there, unless there's some other Dark World way that I'm forgetting about involving flippers, but yeah.
I believe flippers will only get you to the right side. I don't think there's any way to get up to the left side without hammer or Titan's Mitts or hook shot.
Which, this may very well be a key lock seed for many of our runners. It is fortunate that our featured four didn't get caught by it, but wow. And the only reason they didn't get caught was because all four of them did the hammer yump. Or if they didn't all do the hammer yump, they chose the correct path.
Yeah, some might say that's even trollier than a ped seed, and I would agree, I guess, because if you key lock yourself, you can actually complete the game.
Yeah, we have other forfeits coming in here, and I'm sorry, I had missed what was at Alec Baldwin's digging game while we were discussing this.
I believe it was just $300, if I saw that correctly.
In the meantime, time to go around a world tour. Alright folks, we have to pay very close attention. This may very well be a key lock, but we need to confirm where's the bow and where's the flute.
If we find one of those three items that should get to the left side of Dark World, it's not a key lock, but it's seeming very, very likely that it is, unfortunately for some people. Oh, well, thank you, Blacksmiths, for your vanilla tempered sword.
We are being trolled in all sorts of ways today.
Yeah, this is one of the more abstract trolls I've experienced, but...
And, Lachrie, don't forget the chest. In the meantime, Furaime is going after Blind right now. Mothula is down for BluesEclipse. Furaime has only got a map from there. Stumpy has just looked like 10 arrows. And did Thieves Town have any value at all here?
Well, it had half magic, so, I mean, it wasn't a total bust. Yep, can't take you someplace nice, unfortunately. That chest has to stay outside. Oh, well, hello.
That is the flute at the Mirror Grove. Based off of the logic, no hook shot yet, I am trying to think, without the bow or the Titan's mitts, was that available?
The only way you could get there is without those items is the hook shot, and then you have to walk all the way around, but they don't have
our runners don't have the hook shot. And there is a swimming warp. Lord of Hyphens mentioned a very good point. There was a swimming warp that I've forgotten about, and I think most of our other runners have forgotten about that too.
There is a swimming warp from near Ice Palace to the near Catfish, but there's a cliff where the bridge is normally that you can't actually get up. The only way to actually get up from down near Ice Palace is to go up the river and then climb up, but that puts you on the right side anyway, so... And I'm glad that all four of our runners are super lucky and avoided that lock.
However, that swimming warp does bring up a good point. Hype Cave Pipe Cave, would that be available?
No, you can't actually get up
No,
down
because
there.
you need the hammer to go south from there, right? So yeah, our apologies, folks. This is a very interesting situation. In the meantime, our apologies for not calling this because we have ruined things, but get your swag ducks in chat. Lachrie has called upon the duck. I'll make sure that we have proper attention once Furaime handles that.
Lachrie, actually, the first runner to get the flute, so he's a bit behind in crystals compared to Space Cowboy and Furaime, but that flute is very nice to have.
Unfortunately, MC Hammer's vault only has a piece of heart, so we're just gonna leave the love for Mr. Hammer.
Is this race valid? I don't know. Luck is also a skill, so who knows?
It's just, where is that bow? Now, if it ends up that none of our feature 4 are able to get a bow because of who knows whatever reason, then yes, we've got even bigger problems.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have any trouble because I don't see how else they could potentially soft lock the game at this point.
Well, this is not Zelda 1 Randomizer, but considering who rolled this seed, I feel I need to mention Fred.
Yeah, it's definitely Fred's fault. Fred trying to ruin A Link to the Past and more people play Zelda 1, of course. The crafty villain.
Though admittedly, this does bring up a good transitional point. Well, hold on, let's check out Bamos first and then I will finish. Piece of heart, thank you. There is going to be a special play-in race on the Speed Gaming Network at, I want to say, 4 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. We will have roughly 25 to 30 racers getting into the playoff race, and only 10 or so will make it in. In the meantime, let's not worry about any of these problems. Let's get some hype. 20 rupees is not hype. Come on, game. Give us some hype. Arrows is not hype. That's some hype.
That would be
okay.
a nice rod.
That's not hype. That's fear.
Oh, I'm hype. I'm hype because that's Turtle Rock, 100%.
I do not want to deal with Turtle Rock right now with this seed.
Come on, put the bow at Green Pendant. Just do it.
Oh, if the bow is locked behind Turtle Rock, which requires the hammer, which requires the Titan's mitts, then we've got ourselves a problem here.
Not my problem. I'm not running it. Here's your anthem. Everybody stand, please.
Thank you Furaime for that excellent rendition of the Swag Duck anthem. So to answer the question from chat, who was it that asked it? Scooty Puff Jr. 1 asked, which chest had Titan's Mitts? Titan's Mitts was, go up the collapsing path, make a right, head down, that's where it was. I don't know the specific name of that room. In the meantime, Meyer check, or Meyer shed check technically.
I think the compass is there, Vanilla, as far as where the Titan Smiths is, but I'm not sure. We're in the money room in pod, okay.
And we need Quake to enter Misery Mire, but all of our runners have that. Okay, when I said go down, I meant go down through the door, not down through the stairs. I apologize. In the meantime, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Furaime making a, the safe play, which is, you have a pendant dungeon you complete, you have all the items for it, you might as well get it out of the way.
Do you mean Crystal?
Yeah, Crystal Dungeon, yes, my mistake.
Now remember, our runners are not in go mode right now. So they will have to explore Misery Mire in its entirety, or they will have to gamble.
And Misery Mire is not a fun dungeon to have to check everything, because there's no efficient route, really. And it's all over the place, there's a lot of rooms where you have to wait. First item ends up being a shield.
Alright, Spacecowboy is going to check out Checkerboard Cave. More arrows. Alright, north of Tile Room, what do we have here? Big Key. Choosing to skip the cutscene room. As Spacecowboy is about to join. Art piece. Furaime has gotten both items, has a key for quick access. Let's finish up Mire.
It's the best case scenario, never having to go into the vanilla big key room with a cutscene. Didn't find any dungeon items except the big key. Lachrie is going through Thieves Town. BluesEclipse taking the south toward the chest, gets his flute. He's going to be happy about that.
And Furaime is doing an excellent job of navigating these dark rooms. BluesEclipse is about to visit Stumpy. Nothing of worth.
He has 60 arrows and he can't use them. Furaime comes to Beatrice, which is actually a pretty annoying fight without the bow, but with with Cape and Tempered Sword, it won't be too difficult for him to knock him out.
Alright, if you can just take over for 1 minute. I'm double checking something.
Alrighty. Oh, he gets all those eyeballs in one big spin. Doing Grease himself, though, is a little annoying. He has a tendency to float upwards towards the top of the screen, which is obviously where the slime is. Furaime does that about as well as you can, though.
Okay, so I just wanted to double check how many runners were still in here. We have 27 runners out of our, I'm saying 50, that are still in this race right now. Unless more have just forfeited as I was double checking.
Well, if you key lock yourself, not much else you can do except restart, and nobody wants to do that. Let's see, here we have Lachrie getting the hype cave, getting his nice rod. Spacecowbow making his way to Vitreous. BlueEclipse will also get their nice rod. And I believe Furaime is coming up here to do Turtle Rocket.
Have we checked Bumper Cave yet?
I'm not sure. I would assume so, because they had Cape, but I am not sure.
So, without the hook shot, I mean, there's still plenty of places to explore in Death Mountain. Sorry, Furaime, you dodged the blue boomerang the first time, but not the second. So, let's see what's in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, this will be the first time they've had East Side Death Mountain access. And there's a lot of item locations over here, especially with Titan's Mitts. So Bo could be over here very easily.
Well, we have the, okay, I always mix up the different names, but is that the fighter shield in this game?
I don't know any terminology. I just call it the fire shield because it blocks fireballs.
Also, BluesEclipse is diving into Swamp Palace, hoping to get a hook shot.
This is an interesting gamble. I believe that was a single arrow. If Hookshot is in here, though, he will be so far ahead. But I don't know if that's gonna work out as he hopes.
That did look like the validation arrow, so we're good there. Paradox Cave, was that the red boomerang?
Yes, I believe so. So Furaime getting double teamed by the boomerangs over here, unfortunately.
And the rest of Paradox Cave didn't really pay out the way we were hoping for.
Yeah, just a bunch of junk, pretty much.
Alright, Spike Cave check now. So to confirm some of the other discussion in chat, there are technically variations of the logic that allow for major glitches. For the purposes of our daily races, no major glitches are allowed, only minor glitches.
Oh.
And we have magic powder.
Hookshot could definitely be at the magic bat right now. And he just decides to leave after that.
Could have explored the western half though. Wonder why they didn't. Also, what was in Super Bunny Cave?
I don't think it was anything important for him accidentally grabbing the skull.
Yeah, with Hookshot Cave, we can only access the bottom chest unless we wish to use hovering strats. And I don't think Furaime is going for that. Instead, let's get official confirmation on the medallion for Turtle Rock. It is Ether today. So the two palaces swapped.
Yep, no more vanilla for today. We're gonna change things up a bit. This is a randomizer, or it's supposed to be.
And here's that play you were hoping for, Malay. We're gonna see a Turtle Rock dive.
Yeah, and this makes a lot of sense because Turtle Rock has a lot of items in it. Lots of times you'll come in here and find a required item on Laser Bridge, so putting it off just, makes things worse in a way.
Space Cowboy following suit. So, Turtle Rock officially has 5 items in the dungeon. We have 7 accessible though, because 1 item will be in the Mimic Cave, and 1 item will be held by Sahasrara.
So it's very true. This is the green pennant, so it has another, little spice added to it. Try and entice you to come in here.
I could not see what the Mad Batter had.
It wasn't hookshot, so unfortunately that was a bit of a waste doing the swamp, but I mean, you make your gambles, sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't.
So this means, for all we know, Hookshot could still be in Swamp.
It definitely could be on the western side.
And, well, more fetch quests.
Yep. Though that one opens up an interesting glitch for Furaime, the fake powder. So he can be disappointed by that if he chooses to do that.
Nice destruction of the Pokey. Now just has to take care of the chain chumps.
Isn't this room just like your favorite room in all of Randomizer, or Zelda in general?
Not really.
Yeah, me neither.
BluesEclipse heading into Mire now. Space Cowboy taking care of Paradox Cave. Lachrie is hoping to find the second item. Now, is Furaime going to go for the vanilla big key chest spot? Yep, they are.
Yeah, if you're checking for items, there's no reason to skip this, because it could very well be the item you're looking for.
And in this case, it was a key for a key.
Yep. If you're in go mode, then you skip that chest, because the best case scenario is it can be a key, and then you just spend your key for nothing, waste time.
Nice bomb jump from Space Cowboy.
Yep, and I imagine he'll be coming in here very shortly. Lachrie getting trolled by the switch. That's a very picky switch for some reason.
I haven't seen our runners go for the floating island item, so I'm presuming it's nothing important.
I don't believe it was anything. Yeah. Another bee in the Mimic Cave.
Alright, what's going to be on Laser Bridge then?
Yeah, this has been not very value heavy Turtle Rock so far. But Laser Bridge always has something. I guarantee it.
If Laser Bridge ends up having 3 big 20s and a small key, we're gonna have some issues.
What's that
Was
hook
that
shot?
the... I thought that was the hook shot.
It looked like the hook shot to me, because we already found the validation arrow.
Okay, so... let's review here. Palace of Darkness needed the Titan's Mitts in order to defeat in order to get to Mothula, take her out, get the hammer, in order to get to Turtle Rock to get the hook shot, which I can understand the problems with this one.
Oh yeah.
Red Mail and Turtle Rock. Heart Container.
Man, these floors are slippery in here.
Small key. And this last one? Trinex has the last one, I believe.
Yeah, I imagine that Furaime would have completed the dungeon even if the last chest had an item, just because it's the green pendant. I mean, you're already here, you might as well. Trinex is not that difficult with a tempered sword and half magic.
Just remember to take advantage of the full magic jar. There you go. So at this point, we just need to know where's that bow. At this point, I think we've mostly confirmed that a number of our runners have gotten key locked out of pod. All items from there have been claimed, so it does matter which doors you opened. Trinex has been defeated. Lachrie is heading to Ice Palace. What does Trinex drop? Another bottle.
Yep. So, Bow could be in Ice Palace, it could be in Swamp Palace. So maybe Lachrie's Dippin' Here will pay off. Could also be on
It could also be in Hookshot Cave.
Yep, and Furaime is going right there as you say that.
Now, if Andy was running, Andy would probably just hover to these chests, but most of our runners are going to take the sane approach. Heart piece, not what we're looking for. That's strike 2, come on game!
I mean, you know, it's not a heart piece, it's a heart container.
Foul ball!
Well.
So that leaves... I had missed what was in Lachrie's first chest, by the way.
As did I.
I don't see a change on the tracker screen, so not worried yet. That means if the logic is to be believed, the bow has to be in either Ice Palace, Swamp Palace, the Witch's Hut, or Sahasrara.
No, we're about to check one of those right now. Oh, getting that spin speed off the witch's steps. That's nice.
And it's bombs. Magic Bat has been checked, but it did not have anything of importance, it looked like. Sick Kid did not have anything of importance either.
$300 in Ice Palace.
That's one of 3, I believe.
Lachrie's got a nice retirement fund built up. 1.1k.
Furaime is going for the Swamp Palace check. We will have access to a number of chests here. There are 6 items inside this dungeon.
Yeah, and another thing about this dungeon, it's also the other 5-6 crystals, so it opens up Pyramid Fairy. And Bo could be there just as easily as it could be anywhere else.
Space Cowboy is now done with Laser Bridge. BluesEclipse is about to take on the Landmolas. And Lachrie is, of course, taking the reverse path. By performing the bomb jump in Ice Palace, able to warp around that way, potentially save keys.
Yeah, riding an Ice Palace is, it's a bit of an art, I guess. Depends on how you like to do it. But there's a lot of different ways you can go depending on the keys you find and how good you are at bomb jumps in general.
I need to practice on bomb jumps. I know that that particular bomb jump would help greatly. Has to be careful. Space Cowboy, watch out for Trinexes. Well, Trinex.
Yeah, don't get bit by the doggy. Thankfully, he has red mail, so he can take, I believe, 2 hits from Trinex.
Furaime is about to get their big key. Will they check out left side?
Well, I think you could make an argument just for going straight up if you wanted to gamble, just because you haven't found map or compass yet. So, yeah, looks like it's what he's gonna do. And if all the items are up here, this works out really nicely, because checking the left side of Swamp takes 2-3 minutes, maybe.
Admittedly, good point. 3 chests plus the reward from Argus. Sahasrahla has not been checked yet. And I do believe, well, at least both Furaime and Space Cowboy have taken out Trinex.
Yep, Space Cowboy is going up here right now to check the screen pendant.
Just a bit of love from the drained portion of Swamp Palace.
I mean, they're items, so that's exactly what you want to see when you're doing this left side skip.
Red rupees! And red rupees!
So there's 1 item left in Swamp, I believe.
That is correct based off of my count. My apologies for... Ice Palace
Lachrie.
has the bow.
Lachrie making the god play.
It. If the Titan's mitts were not gotten from the Palace of Darkness and you got key locked, dead game. Game over. Return of Ganon.
Yeah, Ganon's getting a little bit unfair with where he's putting this stuff. But that works. Oh, and Buttersword too. So Ice Palace is actually working out amazingly for Lachrie. He's going to Cold Stare for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe
and
he wasn't
Marcus
gonna...
dropped the compass.
Well, that sucks for Furaime. He's gonna have to come back in here now unless he wants to chance it.
Now, interesting question here. Since Ice Palace had the bow, right now some of the folks in chat are thinking that this actually wasn't a key-locked seed. But we had a number of people that forfeited saying that it was.
Oh, it absolutely was. You need bits to get into Ice Palace, and if you used your key wrong in a pod, then you can't get the bow. So that's been put to rest. It's actually absolutely a key-locked seed.
Yeah, it's interesting. Cold Stare has the compass. I think there is still... I thought there was still one more item in Ice Palace. I thought someone else was saying it was... Oh, it was the Golden Sword.
Yep, Golden Sword in the big chest. So I'm not sure why he killed Cold Stare. Maybe he thought this was a crystal. Yeah, he's checking this map now. He probably just realized, oh, this wasn't required.
Still not going to complain about Golden Sword.
No, or bow, for that matter. That actually gives him a pretty big advantage. If he goes to Turtle Rock right now and gets a hook shot, then he might have a pretty big advantage. Though I imagine Furaime is probably going to go to Ice Palace right after this anyway.
Well, at that point, Lachrie would be in go mode, actually. So right now, all of our runners are missing one item. Lachrie's missing the hook shot, the others are missing the bow.
Yep, and Lachrie won't be missing that for long, and he'll be able to skip Trinex, which is something that probably nobody else is going to be able to do.
₹20 was the final item in Swamp Palace. Now, I'm genuinely curious about something.
What is that?
Why is Lachrie going to Turtle Rock now? Wouldn't it have made more sense to take out Eastern Palace first? Or did I just miss that?
Well, there's one item in Eastern Palace. I mean, if you're just looking to progress, then yeah, that's probably not a bad play to make, but at the same time, the chances of that being hookshot are pretty low.
Admittedly, fair point. In the meantime, Pyramid Fairy check on Furaime's side.
Well, he's not going to find bow, he's not going to find golden sword. Best case scenario, this is a shield upgrade.
Or maybe the bug net to catch fairies and put them in a bottle.
It could be bug net. Definitely could be bug net.
Rupees! Bombs. No net. So at this point, is the bug net going to be trapped in Ganon's tower? Is it actually going to be in the big chest?
It's what it's looking like, and I guess Lachrie didn't actually come up to Eastern Death Mountain too, so that could be another big factor in why they came up here, because they didn't check all the items over here. Which makes sense why it would come here now.
Space Cowboy is still hoping to find that bow. Has not gone into Ice Palace, which admittedly is a pendant dungeon. But it's a required pendant dungeon this time.
Yep, Furaime's just had enough and is going for it now. So ironically, the time that Lachrie saved by not having to kill Trinex will be saved by Furaime by not killing Cold Stare. I think he just thought that was a required dungeon. Maybe he marked an S tracker wrong if he doesn't play with music.
It could be a number of things, but regardless, these runners are certainly giving us interesting entertainment, especially with all of what's been going on. So please give them all a follow.
Yeah, definitely. They're working very hard for your entertainment, and they deserve your love and affection, especially because this seed was technically potentially not completable. They are the chosen ones, basically, that's what I'm saying.
And let's not forget about our trackers, JR, Biff18, and Number Play.
Tracking is a very hard job, especially for racers. So
Now, I remember that the bow was located in one of those small chest rooms, not one of the ones I would ever want to explore if I was going through this in a go mode fashion. Interestingly enough, Furaime is not doing the bomb jump, instead going through it vanilla.
yeah, I mean, technically there's no point in actually doing the bomb jump if you're actually just gonna check for items, but I still like to do it just because it can make your life easier in some ways. Oh no.
Lachrie's hoping
No,
for Spike
Lachrie.
Cave, but it's not gonna pay out.
I'm sorry, Lachrie. This was not the right direction to go. Please go right back up that mountain. Go to Turtle Rock.
So this means all of the pendant dungeons were required. Pod had the Titan's mitts, Ice Palace had the bow, and Turtle Rock had the hookshot.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier, it's never a good feeling to see Turtle Rock as a pendant, because you have to come in here anyway. That's just something that's gonna happen. If not to get your required items to check for them.
Speaking
Sorry
of
about
something happening, at the 1 hour 37 mark, Furaime has now got their bow and has achieved Go Mode, which means it is now time to take on Eastern Palace and finally identify what the Armos Knights were hiding.
Could it be the bug net? That's all we're missing right now.
That is technically correct. The only... Oh, and Lachrie just checked the pedestal. Probably feels a little silly for clearing out Ice Palace.
Maybe that's why he did it, just in case. And he's getting robbed too. This is just like the worst trip ever.
BluesEclipse now has the hook shot.
Oh, getting mashed by the paroller, sadly.
I don't believe anything else of important value was at Laser Bridge, though.
I mean, there's red mail, so he'll get that. That'll be nice. But other than that, no.
That's why I said important. No offense to red mail, I like using red mail myself, but in terms of required items, nothing else.
No, not really. Though red is the best color, so. I am a little bit biased in that respect.
And of course, red mail's the first chest.
Blue's debating if he wants to finish the dungeon or not. I think you have to, buddy.
And of course, big 20.
Yep, that is all 7 crystals. Number play way ahead of us.
Yeah, please wait until we give the official announcement here.
Alright, do you want to do it or should I?
Let's all handle this. Alright, folks, place your bets, folks. Furaime is about to enter Ganon's Tower. Please enter a number between 1 and 22 inclusive to identify which item or which item location contains the big key to get up Ganon's Tower. Place your numbers in now. Of course, this guessing must cease once Furaime climbs the stairs to enter Ganon's Tower. I will, of course, say stop and type in chat. And Audibit, I said item locations. I did not say item chests. I am well aware that the torch is a valid item location. Now, of course, this is all just for fun, so... Retro Red Ranger, I am sorry, this is not Key Sanity. 23 does not count.
I'm just gonna go with number 7 again, because why not?
I'll go for... I'm gonna say 22 tile room. And with that in mind, it is time to stop guessing. Starting on the east side, there's our mirror shield. And another big 20. No small key, so we have to go left. Looks like small key on the torch. Bye-bye, Bob. Corvus Mysticus. Technically, we are missing the bug net in terms of tracker completion. Relatively, anyway. Small key, 20 rupees. What about number 6? Another small key. Was that 100?
No, 300, I believe. Might have been 100, I don't know. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Alright, into the map room, I believe. Chest number 8. Nice hook shot, and just a piece of heart for the trouble.
And I can never avoid damage in that room. That was so nice. Oh. Block a little bit too close.
There you go. Excellent Kana Samaria strats there. Alright, going across to the fire bars. Arrow upgrade. Number 9 is not it. I do not believe we have a winner yet. We may end up seeing a possible top 3 finish here from Furaime. Let's check Rando Room.
Yeah, Furaime actually does pretty well in these dailies. They've gotten first at least twice.
20, 20, Burrito, 5. That is 13, if I've counted correctly. Lachrie has finished up Eastern Palace and will soon... Wait, still has to finish up Swamp, but can't without the hook shot. Has to go back to Turtle Rock.
I hope he goes to the Rock instead of Palace Nice. Yeah, you can't mirror that way, buddy. I'm sorry. It's a one-way trip.
Chest 14, small key, has to fight the Armos Knights. Well, technically doesn't have to if the big key's on the right-hand side, but certainly an inconvenience.
Yeah, silvers will make it quick at least, so there's that.
Red Rupee, 16 Red Rupee, 17 Red Rupee! East side!
$10 for each Armos Knight you kill, I guess. So left side's a bust, basically.
Indeed. However, we could have... Ooh, it's either going to be Tile Room or those other 4 chests.
So what do you get if you win your own game, out of curiosity?
I don't have an answer for that yet. Nice soccer strats on Furaime. 18, Red Rupee. 19, bombs. 20, Red Rupee. 21, arrows! It's Tile Room!
Oh my god. What a pain in the butt. This is the kind of thing that makes you go, I hate rando. That said, it was the worst possible spot, and I'm just watching, so I'm very happy about that.
I have had a number of Tile Room seeds. Also, nice mushroom transformation on Furaime's side. Thank you for showing that off.
Marissa is the best sprite. I say that because I use it, obviously, but...
And there you go, folks. 22 is the official winner.
Yeah, you got the blue ball count right, you got the Tile Room, big key. You're just on top of it today, man.
And you want to know what's funny? I don't think this is even going to count. I think a number of people got key locked to where this may not count for official records. However, we can at least still count honorary places. For instance, Jet082 has actually gotten through this seed with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, 36 seconds.
Very well done by him.
I will go through the top 10 plus the featured 4. But other than that, well, no guarantee that we can get through them all.
We might not even have any more than that, honestly, with how many forfeits we had. Let's see, here we have Furaime going up through the gauntlet now. We have Lachrie making his way to his hookshot. BluesEclipse is finishing off Swamp Palace. And Spacecowbow is taking the long road to disappointment.
The conveyor belt gauntlet rooms, they're never fun. Especially when you add ice physics.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes those lizards will cooperate with you and play nice, but sometimes they will be just the worst.
Tozino Unknown, the golden sword was found at Ice Palace.
Oh, 1 cycle in, most with silver arrows. Very, very well done.
So with this in mind, folks, we actually have 5 items unaccounted for. I think technically 6. I don't know if any of our runners have checked Bumper Cave. It's the only overworld item I have not checked on my personal tracker here. But yeah, we may not even see the bug net technically.
Yeah, I don't think Furaime will check any of these chests up here in the gauntlet.
Okay, according to JRBiff18, Bumper Cave was Heart Container. So now, as Furaime climbs further and further up, will we see the final 4 non-big chests? If so, then we could theoretically identify every single item in the game. But I am not doing an item recap.
Yep, he's skipping them. I don't blame him. Don't need them. Tempered silvers, the more that you want.
Though I will cover placement recaps. Evanidus has finished second, 1 hour, 51 minutes, 22 seconds. ACMLM not far behind, 1:51:27. I missed what was in the consolation chest while reading that.
It was a compass, so you didn't miss much.
Do we see a validation chest check?
It is the bug net. What the heck? I love the seed. I love it.
I bet GamerPal is loving being done with it. They finished fourth, 1 hour, 52:08. What is this seed? Seriously.
This is just a bad day for seeds in general, I think.
Well, we still have the...
Wow. That was a really nice double for Furaime.
I agree. 2 doubles so far. Can we get a third? No, we also get blue balls for the troubles.
Still a really nice fight.
Agreed. 2-2-0-2. Not a bad way to finish off Aghanim 2. Alright, Ganon is fast approaching the top of the pyramid. Furaime is fast approaching Ganon. The lesson of the day. Groundhog Day loop. And we have a 5th place finish. Killer App 23, 1 hour, 53 minutes, 23 seconds. Already on 3rd phase. Furaime has to just be careful not to fall in the pit. Alright, silver arrows are out.
Whoa.
I
Again,
know,
Ganon trying to pull a fast one.
that was a little close. That was a solid double, I believe.
Yeah, if you hit... Oh, wow, that was another double.
That was a delayed double, it looked like, but we will take it.
Very well done. If you hit Ganon with the silver arrows, but he doesn't reach the edge of the pit, you can actually hit him again. So you can get those double situations, but Furaime finishes.
That. That is correct. GG Furaime! You have finished with an official SRL time, 1 hour, 54 minutes, 21 seconds. You have made it to the top 10 in 6th place.
Yep. Sadly, they don't have a mic, so they won't be joining us for an interview. But GG to them. Maybe we'll pop in chat and say hi. Space Cowboy is making his way up Ganon's tower as we speak. Blues is still hunting for that bow, but I think they're about to go into the spot where they'll need to.
Also, we have a 7th place finish. Lewd Dolphin, 7th, with a time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, 51 seconds.
Oh, Space Cowboy unleashing the bee for that one room. Oh, and here's another one.
Alright, Furaime is in chat. Hopefully I pronounced it right, because I have been bad at it. I think the answer was given in IRC, but of course, everyone loves to poke fun at me, from terrible seeds to terrible name pronunciations. Dropped Bass asks a good question in chat here. Why are we still using this version of the randomizer? Based off of my understanding, since we are still on a current tournament phase with the Link to the Past randomizer tournament, they wish to maintain that same version throughout that round.
I think they use a batch of pre-generated seeds for that, so I'm not sure if that's the reason. Maybe the issue they're trying to fix is not as simple as we make it out to be. Though I don't know what the real reason is either, so... They tried to do a patch with the key lock, but it caused errors, so it was reverted, I see. So I guess this is a complicated problem.
Alright, Space Cowboy is almost done with the tower climb.
The real question is, will he validate?
And does not check consolation chest. No bug net, which means Space Cowboy's getting ice cream.
Yep, unfortunately. If he had that bug net, he could have recaptured those bees that helped him in the gauntlet, but sadly choosing not to do that.
BluesEclipse has the bow. Lachrie is heading up to Ganon's tower, I believe? Has the hookshot marked, so unless we had missed when Swamp Palace was cleared, I think Lachrie is also going to head up to Ganon's tower now.
It's gonna be really embarrassing if he gets there and he realizes he forgot a crystal, but hopefully that's not... Okay, he did. Okay.
we have our 8th place finisher, Glenn, with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 0 minutes, 24 seconds.
Yeah, this ended up actually being a pretty long seed, all things considered. I would probably attribute to that to all the required items and pension dungeons in general.
Alright, first phase of Ganon underway. Jumping straight to second phase. Space Cowboy is at a good position here. Nice hookshot dodging.
As long as your hookshot is out, then you're invincible, which is used in this fight to get around the fire bats, which can be very difficult to avoid. On to phase 3 he is.
Now the question is, will Lachrie end up doing a Dark Magician strat, potentially avoiding all of this heartache?
It would be good for him, but at the same time, I don't know if he would do Tile Room before the left side, just because Tile Room's such a pain in the butt. But we'll see.
And with that, Ganon is defeated on Space Cowboy's side. Just has to get through the curtain, and then we will have an official SRL time for you guys at home. Goes through. 9th place. 2 hours, 2 minutes, 18 seconds.
Well, GG to him. He played very well. Okay, we have BluesEclipse making the climb to Ganon's tower now. So he'll be in here and suffering before long, taking the top route for some reason. This is not the fastest route, but oh, and he falls.
Alright, we are about to have Space Cowboy joining us in the commentary booth. Just waiting for some final tech setup. And with that in mind, Space Cowboy, if you can hear me, GG.
Yeah, that was something else entirely.
Yeah, GG. You said you wanted to get back into running seats instead of helping with them. Are you happy you made that decision?
Let's see. Every pendant required. Tile room, Ganon Tower, big key. Maybe a little bit of regret.
The only thing you were missing was pedestal required.
Ag required, yeah. That was
Yeah, I remember. I know I got the check-in whenever I did Skullwoods, and I'm like, it's not an item I need. Okay, moving on. I don't even remember what it was.
just couch cash, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I say. How did you feel about that seat overall? I mean, you just summed it up pretty nicely, but I mean, you know, if you have any other thoughts.
My early game routing was pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Didn't really have any idea of what I wanted to do, so I kept waffling back and forth. Whenever we got the Master Sword immediately, I was thinking Aghanim, and then the cape turned up in Desert, and we still had no Dark World access.
Yeah, that was an interesting separate troll that I kind of forgot about. 2 swords right away, and yeah, just no, all of you ended up going to Aghanim at roughly the same time, but you were hoping against hope. But it just wasn't meant to be here. You had to go through the 6 hours or 6 minutes of patience.
Oh yeah, luckily it wasn't too bad on the climb. Fire Rod, Master Sword. It makes it relatively quick, but I mean, we had Lantern and Master Sword 5 minutes in, and the entire time I'm like, please not Aghanim, please not Aghanim. We get the boots, it's bombs on the ledge. Okay, it's not required for an item, and then the seed just shuts us off that direction. I think it was nearly 40 minutes into the seed, maybe 35.
Yeah, you guys kept getting little bits of progression that let you put it off for a little bit, but ultimately it was still required to actually get into the Dark World.
Yeah, it was kind of trolly in that sense, because you were required to visit Desert, period, for the gloves. Hera was a simple clear, but there was nothing up there. Logically, you could have put Desert off until you were in Mire and clearing that, and you could have put Hera off until the very end, and you would have saved, 5 or 6 minutes, I think, between doing it later instead of early before Aga.
Though, probably not something anybody would do when faced with a potential Aghanim seed, because you're hunting for that progression that makes it possible just to ignore him, but...
Yeah, this one was definitely up there on the troll meter. I won't say it was the worst, but the hook shot buried right before Laser Bridge, the bow on that right side of Ice Palace, and then the other pendant. My pod had progression. I don't even remember what. I just remember finding something. My brain just...
Mitts, actually.
That's what it was, the mitts.
So you were aware that this was a potential Keylog seed, I'm sure, based on the IRC, right?
I honestly minimize IRC, but it started getting into my mind whenever I finished clearing Swamp. I checked what I could, Mushroom was done, Powder was done, the Big Bomb was done, and Ice Palace had 3 items left. And for the life of me, I could not think of any other spot besides the dark rooms of Pod where the big key is, because I don't know the hammer jump. So I was locked out of that area.
Yeah, luckily you were locked out of the area you wanted to be locked out of. Otherwise, you would have had to forfeit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized... Yeah, wow.
Luckily, everybody on the featured stream managed to avoid getting keylocked that way.
That's crazy. They were like, such a small chance. We'll fix it in the next logic update. It's not worth pushing out a new one. Just, if it comes up in the turn, they'll handle it then with a rematch. I hadn't seen one that was actually a potential key lock until this one, I suppose.
The tournament did have a key lock in the tournament. I think, to my knowledge, both that tournament matchup and this daily race are the only 2 recorded races where there was a key lock. If there are any others, I'm sure chat will call me out.
That does make sense, just because there aren't... It's such a minuscule chance. Oh, thanks for the vote of confidence there, GamerCal. Did that many people get destroyed by the key lock then in Pod? I haven't even checked the race itself.
Well, if you take a look at the results in IRC, I think you'll have your answer. So go ahead and do that real quick.
Let's see, SG Daily. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's over 50% of the racers.
There were 50-some racers that had participated in this. Let me
31
get
or 32 forfeits. Wow.
Oh, there are more racers than I thought. Let me get some more detailed graphical stats on my end.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SRL page, and either 31 or 32 of the 56 forfeit. because of key lock. Wow.
You take that 50-50, and there you go. About half the people can't finish the game.
What's funny is I always go right first. It really doesn't matter. Keys, if I have 1 or 2 keys, I always go right. And gamble on that side because there's just one more item. And then if it is left, well, there's nothing like learning bomb jumps on the fly, right?
No, that's the best time to learn them.
Funny enough, if I was in your position, I would have checked left side myself because I am not good at bomb jumps, which meant I would have key locked myself out.
Oh, I'm okay with some of them. I've never done that one. Bomb jumps are one of those things where sometimes you get it on the first try, and then other times you blow through 2 red potions and 20-something bombs and still don't get it.
Yeah, and hammer jumps one of the more difficult ones because I believe it's very specific positioning.
I believe it's like sub-pixel dependent with how precise it is. It's not a fun one. So I hope you enjoyed the bees in the gauntlet.
Oh, I did.
Found so many of them.
Just a shame we didn't get the validation chest because that was bug night. You could have went back and picked him up and brought him to fight Ganon.
At that point in time, I knew that I'd checked almost every chest in the game that I had access to, and GT forced the full clear at the bottom. I just wanted it over.
That's a very understandable emotion at that point.
But yeah, this is definitely a rough seed, not even counting the key lock.
Mm-hmm. It was even the fastest time was just barely under 2 hours, I believe. Maybe a few minutes.
First place had 1 hour, 48 minutes, 36 seconds.
Yeah, I can see that. I had a lot of sloppy execution, poor movement. So I can definitely see that 150-ish range. But a non-pedestal seed that still requires every dungeon anyway.
It's interesting. We've had 2 of our daily races so far. The daily at 3 o'clock standard race, which is per tradition, pedestal required seed. Here we had agar required seed along with everything else. Key sanity is up in 40 minutes. What do you think's gonna happen there, Space Cowboy?
I think that I will not be running Key Sanity, and I will be watching it and hoping that they find Ganon's Tower Big Key in the first 5 minutes, and then wishing them luck to the rest.
I don't blame you after playing that bit of a troll seed.
Yeah, that 3 o'clock daily was, even though it was pedestal required, it was a relatively friendly seed because you had a little bit of that old version 25 where they kind of gave you items to hint where to go. This one was, early on anyway, it wasn't quite clear.
Yeah, there was a lot of places you could have checked for going to Ganon. We have Lachrie going to Ganon now, so he'll probably be here as soon as he puts Ganon to bed, I guess.
Sounds fantastic. I was a little bit happy with my Ganon fight, although apparently I miscounted phase 2. I was off by 1 slash, apparently.
No, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I guess it was definitely a fun... I just resigned myself whenever I realized it was AGA forced for Dark World access and just kind of took everything in stride from there. Though I did start bombing chests.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you either with some of the placement we had.
Yeah, this was definitely an interesting seed here.
Were you the one that bombed the old man in the cave?
No, I didn't bomb Old Man. I bombed the hook shot, and then I bombed it again, I believe, like twice for good measure. And then I dumped bombs off on the bow chest. So, I was happy to get the boots from the old man.
Yeah, I meant the Agina, Agina, in the desert.
Agina.
Somebody bombed his cave entrance open, then bombed him. Lachrie taking a fall, unfortunately.
It's a bummer. And he was like right there near the end, it looked like, huh?
Yeah, I think just one hit away.
Well, I hope we put on some entertainment. It kind of sucks that this was a key lockable seed. I'm certain that 9th place would have been probably 20 something, if not lower. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the VOD of this in probably 10-15 minutes, or maybe after Key Sanity.
I had a lot of fun commentating it, even knowing it was uncompletable for some people. And I mean, luck is a skill, let's be real here. You chose the right door.
Ooh, it is randomizer.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, and like I said, I'm looking forward to watching the VOD and everything. I'll go ahead and let y'all get to it, since it looks like Lachrie is getting close to finishing up, barring, no more falls.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for joining us, GG. If you guys enjoyed the race, give Space Cowboy here a follow. He definitely deserves it. He needs it. I can hear it in his voice.
Thank you very much. Hope y'all have a good night.
And you too.
In the meantime, Lachrie is about to enter 4th phase again. Has to be very careful. If another fall takes place, BluesEclipse could catch up. Torch glitch unsuccessful.
Oh, he gets a nice double though. And there he does it.
Just has to go through the celebration. And with that, get your GGs out for Lachrie with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 17 minutes, 40 seconds, 16th place.
GG to him.
Well, why don't we bring them in to the commentator's booth right now? Lachrie, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
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 GG.
Yeah, sorry about the chaos that this scene threw at you.
Yeah, this was actually like my first key-locked seed, or I wasn't key-locked, but everyone else. So I wasn't really sure what to do in the middle, but I just continued, I guess.
Well, none of you in the featured 4 had key locked, so congrats on that.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think I avoided it by hammer yumping, but I don't exactly understand how all of that works. So
You were correct. The hammer yump, as it's called, allowed you to avoid spending a key to get into the dark maze. So you had the key that allowed you to get the Titan's Mitts and progress.
yeah, that was pretty lucky then.
Yeah, so what were your feelings on that seed in general, aside from the key lock?
I feel like the seed wasn't terrible. At least for the first half, it was pretty linear. You knew you had to go to Aga, then probably Pod right after. I think I got really lucky because I think I went to Ice Palace at some point. I found the bow there, and I didn't even realize that it was a pendant dungeon. So when I found the bow, I was just like, and then beat Code Stair, I was just like, whoa, wait, this is a pendant? I totally messed this up. But I got extremely lucky anyways, so...
I believe you were the first one to actually find that, and we were wondering why you were going to Cold Stare. Maybe he didn't check pedestal, maybe he doesn't realize this is a pendant.
In the meantime, BluesEclipse, the last of our featured four, has finished in 17th place. 2 hours, 19 minutes, 54 seconds. Get your GGs out, and let's bring BluesEclipse in. BluesEclipse, GG. Sorry for the chaos.
Not a problem. I actually was halfway through Skull Woods when I glanced at the IRC and saw people talking about a key lock and pod. My first thought there was, okay, what are they talking about? I've been in and out of pod, got all 5 items already.
You utilized the hammer yump, I believe, correct?
Just went into the spike room and got the Titan's mitts there before I even went into the dark room side.
Yep, you chose the right door. Congratulations. You passed the test.
Yeah, the logic I go by there is worst case scenario. It's going to wind up telling me to go back out to one of the other rooms. I find the big key. Find my progression.
Yeah, checking all the chests above the money room and like the spike room. I like to do that as well, just because it usually means you'll have the big key for the big chest out of the dark maze.
When I got those last 2 items out of the dark maze and realized I didn't actually have to finish pod.
So, to both Blues and Lachrie, just, if you had to go through this seed again, knowing that a key lock was possible, would you do so?
I felt like the seed after pod gave a lot of variety, and in terms of that, it was pretty fun. Yeah, I guess if actually the hookshot being in pendant turtle rock is pretty annoying too. Maybe not.
Yeah, the items were in very bad locations today. No one wants to have to dig for the bow or the hookshot or just anything in pendant dungeons, and yet all three were, you had to dig them.
Yep, you had to go through all of them to get your progression, which is never a good sign of a fun seed, in my opinion.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, Bo being in that very first chest that we saw in Ice Palace was not a bad thing at all.
No. Let me think here. So Titan's Mitts was in Pod, Bow was in Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock had Hookshot. And a lot of people, yourself included, ended up finishing Turtle Rock. I believe Lachrie was the only one that didn't, because his Go mode item was Hookshot. Though he ended up doing Cold Stare for no reason, so kind of balanced out.
Yeah, I think I was
given as late as I was in Turtle Rock there, no reason not to finish it and hope Trinex had the bow for me there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only way I got the bow was by doing the second bomb jump. So I guess in retrospect, that would have been a lot more trolly if I had went to Turtle Rock to get the hookshot first.
But you both did very well.
Overall, the time was higher than I would have liked, but at the same time, I mean, anything over is. But given the seed, I can't really complain.
Yeah, I mean, this is a trolley seed. I mean, that's just gonna happen. Sometimes you're gonna get these really annoying seeds where the time just builds up, and you know, that's just how rando is sometimes.
With that in mind, do you two have any last thoughts?
Honestly, all I can say for the people that decided to simply because of the trolley seed as opposed to the key lock, keep at it. Those of you that were affected by the key lock, really, I'm sorry that things turned out that way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when this happens. Hopefully the bug will be fixed sometime soon, but thank you all for coming out and racing either way.
Definitely enjoy it here.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that last part from you, Blues.
I was just saying, I definitely enjoy actually being a part of the rando community here.
And we appreciate you being a part of the family, even if we do have our little squabbles. With that in mind, give it up once more for all of our featured four: Spacecowboy2011, BluesEclipse, Lachrie, and Furaime. Or I know I've butchered those names. I apologize to all four of you. Please give them all a follow.
And our lovely trackers did an amazing job as well. JR Biff18 and Number Play. Oh, for how he's playing Super Mario World. Which is our cue to get out of here, I think.
Do not forget, while the first two of the daily races have been interesting so far, we still have a key sanity race coming up. Head over to Speed Gaming in 30 minutes, and hopefully, well, we won't have any crazy shenanigans similar to what we've had here. So I agree, Malay, we need to sign out.
Yep. Thanks for commenting with me. I had a lot of fun.
Agreed. So this is Wolfman2000 saying, watch out for everything.